Welcome everybody. Today's video finds us over here in Samut Songkhram. We're about 100 kilometers or so outside of Bangkok, and we're going to take a look at something I've made a video over here about 2 years ago or so. We're going to take a look at the military camp that's over here. It's Wat Bang Kung, and it's a very important site for the Thais, and I'll tell you a little bit about it. And we'll look at a really cool ordination hall that's almost collapsing, but there's 4 trees that are holding it up. So let's look around here and let's see what we see. So I'm standing in front of a shrine for King Taksin. And where we're at right here, you can see there's all kinds of little chicken statues. There's a hall back there. We're standing in front of his statue because this was the site of 2 different battles with the Burmese back when Ayutthaya was the capital and when Thonburi was the capital. And this area has all kinds of little statues of horses and soldiers and cannons and all kinds of stuff, and then there's a wall, and then over there is like the river. But let's go over here and let's look at the hall, and I'll tell you about the fighting that happened here. This is what I came over to see. So here you have people selling the flowers and all of that. And this is, believe it or not, a building. You can see all the trees that are just wrapped all around it. And then you have the bells on all the little shrines. People are making donations to the temple here. They're burning the incense. And over here, I've never seen this before, but they have a gigantic sword, and the people are coming over here and sticking gold leaf on it. But it'll be the sword for King Taksin. Now, this was the site of 2 battles. In 1765, the Burmese attacked. There was an army set up here from Ayutthaya. The king ordered a base built over here. So they had a wall, and this temple was in the center of the military base. And the Burmese came and they routed the forces of Ayutthaya. And then they eventually sacked the city of Ayutthaya in 1767. And then a year later, King Taksin was reunifying Thailand, and he ordered a camp to be rebuilt over here. And the Burmese found about it. They followed along the Maeklong River and they found this camp here, and they attacked, and it was a group of Chinese soldiers, and they were almost on the brink of defeat, and King Taksin found out that they were being attacked, and he ordered reinforcements to be sent over here, and they defeated the Burmese. And it is a really important time for the Thais because they regained, or they maintained, their independence from the Burmese. So the Thais come over here and they all know the story of this, and they look at this hall. But check this out, all the roots growing around it. It's pretty unique. There is another temple that's has another tree growing around it that's to the north in Singburi, but it doesn't have the importance of this one as far as being a site of a couple battles with the Burmese. But you can look inside of the window and you can see the Buddha image. And there used to be murals and everything up there. Now you can go around and you can stick the gold leaf on it. But how cool is this? It is just absolutely amazing. And then you can see some of the little figures. This is one of the old ordination stones here. So they would have these balls buried down in the ground, and then they would have had the Buasima up on top. And the monks come over and they do a ceremony. And then over here is another hall with the Buddha, but we're not going to look at it. I wanted to mainly look at this ordination hall with the trees growing on it. And they have a little shrine over here. And the women will come over here and pray for like health of like a baby. It's one of the shrines for like the female spirits. Let's see the little guy. So you can see how this hall was built. You can see the styling and everything up there. It's just a little Ubosot, or an ordination hall, and it's built in the Ayutthaya style. But those roots are just strangling the walls. And you can see these are like one of the little figures that are scattered all around the temple grounds here. And then here's another one of those Buasima stones. You can see the base of it, and the trees have just taken over, and a little bit of the plaster that's still left. But you can't hardly even see it. It's even more overgrown than last time I was here. There's just green. And they've built these right here to kind of try to shore up the wall to keep it from collapsing down. Yeah, this is several hundred years old, this little Ubosot right here. The city of Ayutthaya fell in April, what was it, like April 4th, 1767, somewhere around there is when the Burmese breached the walls, and then they sacked the city and everything burned. And it was a pretty uncertain time for the Thais, because there was some city-states that allied with the Burmese and others declared independence. And King Taksin, he escaped from Ayutthaya, was able to muster forces. He went over to Thonburi and gathered up an army, and then he came back in, freed up Ayutthaya from the Burmese. So we can see inside. You can see the Buddha image in there, and then all these trees. Yeah, if you didn't know there was a temple here, I mean, it just doesn't look like it. It looks like a stand of trees. Okay, so let's go inside and let's look at this Buddha image. Okay, so they were really strict about no photos in there. And there's a couple little murals that you can see on the walls. And then you can walk up there. As you can see, the people are walking up there and sticking the gold leaf on the Buddha. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. So you see all the shrines, they're burning the incense and everything. And there's tons of people. Now this site here was declared a national monument in, I think, 1996. Looks like the new hall that they're building. They have a new little shrine over here, and then they have a new Ordination Hall or Wihan over here, but it's locked up. And then over here is the Chinese shrine and a shrine to Prince Chao. You can see all around the area. They have all these figures fighting. And then they have like a little petting zoo. They have all kinds of stuff here for the kids. But this is the hall that's locked up. You can see the workers over here painting and building this. And then there's a guy over here repairing the little statues. A little shrine over here for King Taksin. This little building here is a shrine for Prince Chao. He was the son of Rama V, that they consider the father of the Thai Navy, and he died at an early age, I think from the flu. But they have a little shrine for him. Let's stick our heads in here. So they have some pictures of him, and then the little statue, and then some other pictures of like the ships and stuff like that, and the aircraft carrier. This is the Chinese shrine that's part of the temple. There was some Chinese soldiers with King Taksin. They actually called this, I think, the Chinese camp over here. And there's King Taksin again. This is inside that little Chinese shrine. You can see all the chickens, and then a little figure of Taksin and some of his pictures. And the swords. You see this in a lot of places in Thailand. Has the Chinese writing. The road goes right in the middle of this temple, and there's little vendors and stuff, and then they have kind of a wall built there. And if you cross the road, you can go to the other part of the temple. And there'll be a place for the kids, and then part of the petting zoo, and then we'll look at the river. And that'll be the last thing we look at over here. There's the petting zoo. You can see him chewing on the plastic. And I got him here to have a plane up here on the tower. We got chicken running around, and then they have some more planes and some military jeeps, stuff like that. It's just kind of a mishmash of stuff that they've stuck in over here. We've got a camel. So he's just hanging out here. And then some more of this. So the kids come over and feed them. They feed the fish. And you got a little boy over here feeding that horse something. You buy the food. So you buy the vegetables there for 10 baht. And you got the sheep. Children should be under the supervision of parents. Beware of horse bites. They have another statue of Taksin. They got some monks, some of the Thai fighters, some of the Chinese. And it is an active temple, so we have monks. There's the crematorium. And then over here, another camel. And then over here is the river. This is the little river front. Now they have a sign here talking about some of the private boat tours you can take. It's really a popular thing for people to do. And then there's a little market when you come off the canal or off the river. They have the wall. And this is the Maeklong River. Looks like they're building more of the pier. So people take these long chows. I think everybody comes here probably from like Ampua floating market. And then there's several little temples along the way. I've been to most of these along here, but doing the boat tour is quite fun. You can see this is how you come. And this is the Maeklong River. There's another temple over there. There's like a hotel, a big tour boat. And then there's, I can see 3 temples up this way. One boat's going out and another boat's coming in. You can see they have like these Toyota motors, and then they have that long shaft. That way it doesn't hit the bottom of the river. You come on off the pier, this is the first thing you see. And they have the little soldiers standing all around. So that's going to finish up our video over here at this Wat Bang Kung, this military camp. The temple itself is quite cool. It's small, there's not a whole lot to see, but it is really nice to see the trees that have grown up around it and just looking at the roots going in. I would like to have shown you a lot more inside, but they were really strict, and I wasn't even filming, and they were yelling at me to not film. So anyway, they've really changed their policy up here. So anyway, I wanted to show you inside the hall. It's quite cool. So if you get over here, you can go and look at it yourself. You'll enjoy that part of the temple. And if you have been here, let me know in a comment down below. If you liked the video, smash the like. And if you have any questions or comments, tell me that also. And if you're new here, subscribe. It helps me out. And then you're also notified when I post a new video. And until next time, from over here at Samut Songkhram, remember, I know I mispronounced that. Remember, life is a journey. Until next time, enjoy.